Why don't we take a look at that damn Sam Seder debate? Give my voice a rest. I've been talking for a good clip now. Libertarian takes Sam to Coconut Island. What a fantasy. You know. Yeah, I think the only group of people that I've seen Sam Seder debate regularly on his channel is right libertarians. That's like the thing he's known for, you know. I have no idea why, because I'm assuming the libertarian brought up the Coconut Island analogy, because I doubt Sam would bring up something that, you know, wacky and internet, you know, culture sort of thing. But why would a libertarian bring that up? It's kind of against their argument, you know.
Hey Sam, this is Dan Norton from California.
Dan from California, what's on your mind?
Yeah, we talked a few weeks ago about objectivism. I don't know if you know that call.
Okay.
Yes, we know that call.
Just want to make sure.
Objectivism, that's the Ayn Rand libertarianism, you know.
Okay.
Oh, you're the guy who has the fertility issues.
I think that, sure.
Okay. You broke up a little bit there.
So, let's see. There was a lot I wanted to talk about since the last show. Where to start?
Well, why don't you pick the most important thing you wanted to talk about?
Most important? Okay. I guess the island example we were talking about.
This came up
I'd like
before?
to go back to that.
Okay, refresh my memory now.
Okay, so I asked, it was about the issue of coercion. So if you're alone on an island, the first question is, if you're alone on an island, do you need to work to survive?
I didn't realize there was a pre-established history of an individual bringing this up. I didn't realize it had been incorporated, you know?
I had an answer to that from you and from Matt.
What did I say?
But I didn't hear Emma.
Well, wait.
You eventually...
All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, forget Emma. Like, we don't need to. I don't need to take a tour of like Bradley and Emma, and then maybe we can ask the
go in the hallway,
guys working in the building and this and that. I mean, okay. So, what's your point? You're going to make a point. It's not about taking a survey.
I thought there might have been some disagreement. That's why I was raising this, because Emma was the one who was bringing up the issue of coercion the most. So
yes,
I thought it would be.
But
what's the point you want to make, though? What's the point you want to make?
Uh-huh.
Well, I want to know what you think is and isn't coercion, ultimately, because I think that's the root of the disagreement, or at least one root of.
All right. Well, give me.
I have to say right off the bat, I love the inherent childishness of this libertarian's brain, because they seem completely incapable of appropriately setting up this conversation. Like, call in, here's my concern, let's talk about it, you know. But this is like this incoherent babbling. We're 2 minutes in now, and Sam keeps a tight schedule on his call-ins. You know, it's not like my stream where you can come on here and babble for 2 hours if I've got nothing better to do. Yeah, I think he's just sort of entrusting this to shared memory.
An example, and I'll tell you if I think it's coercive.
Okay, well, maybe we can. Do you know Vosh's Coconut Island example?
No.
Hey.
Okay, it's kind of vulgar, so maybe I'll give a version of it.
Well, or not. How about you come up with another example? How's that?
Okay, maybe I can debate that with him sometime if he wants. But
yeah.
So let's just say that there are two people on an island. Okay. And at first they don't know about each other. Like, imagine the one is on each side of the island.
Okay.
Split in half, and they don't. Okay, so each one is surviving by himself at first.
What? This isn't my Coconut Island. You're ruining it. You're destroying the analogy. The point is that through no fault of your own, the other person has accumulated all of the available resources before you could even start the game, which is analogous to the primitive accumulation of capital that took place hundreds of years ago and has continued since. That means that nowadays, if you want to survive, living off the land while participating in modern society is really an option. Most people don't really have an option to live off the land either. You have to sell your labor, so you're not given a choice. That's the point. They have the coconuts.
And
Okay.
at that stage, you would say, is it correct that you would say neither is being coerced?
Neither man, right? Because
Neither man is being coerced. I mean, if they're not in any way aware of each other, so they can't be coercing each other, and there's I don't know what other dynamic exists, but assuming there's nobody else on the island, right? They're not being coerced.
No, Sam hasn't heard the analogy before. Now he's thinking like, this is Vauch's coconut analogy? It's just two dudes? Okay. Damn, Vauch must be a fucking idiot.
Okay, so there's no coercion if they're just by themselves in nature acting. Okay, now suppose that they discover each other, or one discovers the other, and they start trading with each other. Like one guy says, all right, I'll do the fishing, and you work on building the shelter.
Where are the coconuts?
Work on building the shelter.
And so forth.
Okay.
Yeah, is there any coercion at that point?
I mean, in the way that you just described it, no.
Okay, so simply trading is not coercive. All right. So
No, I would actually disagree. I think that there's an implicit coercion whenever you're trading for something that you need but don't have. There's a coercive element imposed by your need over that thing that we can only mitigate through fair systems of resource exchange, but it's still present.
now, suppose that one is much better at catching fish. So maybe one can catch like 10 times.
Wait, one is by
Now
you
he's
said
adding
that one
merit.
is building the shelter and one's catching fish.
Now he's adding merit
No,
to it. Merit isn't the point. Of course, a
That was the
libertarian
end
would
of
add
the
merit.
Second example. I'm making modifications to examples.
Okay, so now they're both fishing. They're both fishing.
Yeah, they're both fishing independently. They're not trading now.
Okay,
But one is much better at catching fish.
but neither one of them knows this, right? Because they're not talking to each other.
Oh.
They don't know that they exist.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
So if
it's
one
brutal.
catches way more fish than the other,
Soiled it!
more fish.
10 times
Soiled
more fish.
it!
There's still no. So
They don't know that each other exists. So there's no coercion because they don't even know that each other exists. They can't be coercing each other.
Right. Okay. So there's massive wealth inequality, but there's no coercion yet because they're not even interacting.
Right.
Now, okay. Now suppose they discover each other.
Oh, hey, okay.
Continues. Okay, so one continues to be able to catch way more fish than the other one.
Right.
Is there coercion now?
Is one of them trying to get the other to do something?
Okay, well, let's say the one who can catch way more fish says, hey, I'll give you some of my fish
oh no.
if you do this other thing for me, like, let's say, work on building the shelter.
How desperately does
Where is the fellatio? You cannot. This is not a Vosh analogy. If no dicks get sucked, yeah, we have whitewashed this. Okay, this is literally the same thing as the. Never mind.
this other person need fish?
Let's say, I mean, he's as desperate as he was before they met.
So he can't even fish
improve
for
his
anything.
situation.
So he can feed
His
himself.
situation.
He can feed himself. He has fish. He's surviving.
Yeah, let's suppose he can eke out a meager existence on his own.
Well, I mean,
But he
he's
can
not
survive way
starving.
better.
He's not starving.
Yeah, let's say he just gets barely enough nutrition to survive and not die. He could survive much better if he traded with the other person and he.
Well, wait a second. Does he have the strength to do to build the shelter?
I think Sam is fucking with him
If
right
he
now.
accepts the deal.
Oh, so he doesn't have the strength to build the shelter. He has no shelter.
No, if he accepts the deal And he says, yes, I'll take some of your fish because you're so good at catching fish.
No, he's not going to take fish because the guy's so good at catching fish. He takes fish because, like, I'm starving. Like, I need fish. Does he need fish? Yes or no?
He needs more fish if he's going to be able to build a shelter. Let's say that.
He needs more fish to survive because you need shelter to survive.
No, not necessarily. If it's nice.
What the fuck? This is the where is that the producer laughing in the background? Okay, they're fucking with him. Okay, it's yeah. Even in his own analogy, like he's like live, like trying to fucking Frankenstein together this analogy. It's still, oh my god.
Weather out on a beach or something.
Okay, so
You don't need a house.
he's got enough food and he's living life and he's okay.
No, he's on the edge of dying.
Oh wait, so he's on the edge of dying. He's on the edge of dying.
When he's by himself.
Okay, so if he's on the edge of dying and the other guy says, I'll give you fish, in other words, I will save your life
Okay.
if you do this
Like
for me.
better.
No, you just said he's on the edge of dying.
Yeah, you keep trying to have it both ways on this knife edge.
I love that the libertarian understands that if he phrases it in a way which suggests that his life is dependent on this trade, he doesn't want to bite that bullet because he knows then that it really sounds coercive. Like, hey, give me the resources to build this, or, give me this thing or you'll die, that does sound coercive, but like he's not willing to commit to that. So instead he's like, well, he doesn't need the fish. He wants the fish. He's on the brink of death, but he's not going to die anytime soon. It's casual, it's casual. He will die, but not like because of this, it's casual.
Let me ask you this, Dan.
No.
Dan, let me give you a scenario. You and I are hiking, okay? Because you and I like to hike, and we're hanging out, and you get near an edge of a cliff, and the dirt gives way, and you're hanging on to a branch. Okay, you're alive, but it's tenuous, and I'm the only way that you're going to get saved. And I go, Dan, here, give me your hand. But wait a second, before you give me your hand, do you have any money on you? And you say, yeah, I always travel with traveler's checks. I got hundreds of dollars of traveler's checks. And I'm like, well, Dan, I'll tell you what. If you give me those traveler's checks and sign them over to me, and I just assume you travel with traveler's checks. Maybe it's cash. And you give me that, I will save your life. Is that coercive of me?
Why wouldn't he just suck his dick? Stupid. Traveler's checks?
My first thought is...
You don't got much time, Dan, because that branch is starting to give way, bud.
No, I think you would be a terrible person for making that offer, but...
It's not coercive.
No, I don't think it would.
It's not coercive.
I don't think so.
You don't think
I
so?
think it would just be corrupt.
It would be corrupt. Corrupt.
Yeah.
What do you mean corrupt?
Yeah.
Why corrupt?
Because you're treating a human being just terribly.
What do you mean I'm
Infant brain.
treating you terribly? I'm just making an arrangement with you. I'm giving you an opportunity. You have cash on you. It's just an exchange.
An exchange between two free-thinking
Yeah, what's
No,
It's
individuals.
just trade.
It's trade.
It's a rotten kind of trade.
What do you mean it's a rotten kind of trade? What makes it rotten, Dan?
You want to deprive someone of all his money just...
What do you mean deprive you of your money? It's just your choice. Do you want your money or do you want the help?
Is it worth it to you or not?
Yeah, it's just a trade.
Why can't I get these debates? This guy isn't just biting the bullet. This guy's walking into an open lion's mouth. Like, what? If I got debates like if just easy street, man. Oh, he did say he wants to talk to me. That's true. Well, now I feel bad.
You
He
said
probably
he
watches
was like
me.
giving away all his money and all his...
No, you, Dan. Dan, I'm saying to you, do you want to give me your money and I'll help you or not? Like, I'm going to trade my labor in helping you, saving your life, and for your money. It's just a trade. What's so corrupt about that? What makes it corrupt?
What's so corrupt about taking away someone's life savings?
Wait, whoa. I didn't say life savings. It's just one in your pocket. If you
Traveler's
don't,
check.
And you're not taking it. You're offering a trade.
In your pocket.
it's up to you. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I'm not coercing you, am I?
Obviously, if it's a trivial amount, or even if it's
No, okay, wait. So what makes it corrupt, though? Okay, wait. So what makes it corrupt, though? I think 'cause we're getting to it, Dan, because corrupt's not the right word, right? What's the word that is? What is? There's some dynamic between us that you feel is wrong for me to take advantage of this. But what am I taking advantage of?
My unfortunate situation.
Your situation is such that I am using leverage to your disadvantaged situation to my benefit. There's another word for that, Dan. It starts with a C.
It is, though, bro.
It's not corrupt.
Why isn't it
Nope.
Why isn't it coercion?
Coercion is like a physical kind of threat that you are imposing on someone. It's not a
So when I was talking about the coconut analogy, this is like the libertarian brain rot that I'm familiar with, where they think coercion literally means like you have to have like a gun, like you have to be physically threatening. There is a physical threat here. If you don't do the trade, you fall to your death. That's the threat. It doesn't have to be an active threat. The denial of necessary services is also a threat. You know, you can threaten a person by not doing something for them, right? So for instance, if the fire department calls you, or you call 911, you know, you're like, hey, there's a fire, you know, the fire department gets line, they're like, hey, yeah, we're not gonna put out that fire for free. We're willing to do it, you know, for a few $1,000s, which is, by the way, how fire departments worked for a very long time, you know. That they're denying you a service rather than doing something to you, but that's still sufficient.
Whoa.
That's
Coercion's only
threat.
physical? You don't think your life and limb, like, well, it's got to be physical. So your life hangs in the balance. Right. So what would you call it?
But you didn't.
What do you call non-physical? If this is non-physical, what do you call it? What is that dynamic? What is it called when you leverage someone's disadvantaged situation for your benefit?
You could call it exploitation.
It's exploitive?
Oh.
I agree.
So I'm exploiting your situation, but what am I doing? What's the dynamic between us?
He can't admit it.
It's exploitation. It's not coercion, though. It's not the same thing.
Okay. Bye, Dan.
We've
Your
got
branch just broke, bud. I appreciate the call.
once again a libertarian retreats to pedantry. Once again.
Appreciate the call.
Okay.
He is remarkably condescending. When I'm 50, I'll be condescending. I'll be more. I feel like people say I'm condescending. Compared to Sam Seder, I am remarkably civil to the people I talk to.
Is all our time that we have for a call today? That is the Doppler effect, as you hear Dan going, bah.
I like the idea that, like,
The fuck is that? Get out of here with your goddamn radio show sound cues. Okay, they were memeing with him. That was good. This was cute. Very good stuff there. Oh yeah, what about the comments here? I'm glad libertarians like Dan are starting to apply Alden's theory of monetization. Alden's theorem. He butchered Vosh's analogy and it still doesn't work for him. The original analogy is elegant and beautiful in its simplicity. This guy took it up, chewed it up, and spit it all over the carpet. This guy should have just used Vosh's example. He went the most convoluted way possible, and Sam's cliff example is the exact same. The only difference is Sam lets you fall off a cliff. Vosh example, the coconut hoarder lets you die of starvation. Yeah, it's the same, really. So my example, again, has far more fellatio, which I think improves its